And take a look down here. I'm noticing some things about this that that are just odd to me. So a couple things. Market development funds, that's that MDF right there, and SPIFs. Instead of using your partner program jargon like market development funds as something you use internally, your partners may not know what that is. They may not understand it. I would definitely talk about more collaborative co-marketing campaigns or financed co-marketing agendas, something like that. Use language that your partners will understand, not your internal nomenclature. And this dollar sign has a bar through it, which tells me you are not offering any MDFs or SPIFs. I don't know why that icon was chosen, so I definitely replaced that icon. But talk to me, Todd, about, I believe this is just a little overwhelming and too many things here. Would you turn that out?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's so easy for all of us, and again, I've been guilty of it in the past. We do so many great things, you know, this much for people, but when we can limit it and not like throw the whole kitchen sink in there, that's really useful, because we want to resonate more by using less. Now, honestly, with partner pages, I'm sure there's some things I will learn about as I get more involved in partnership pages and partner pages, but so yeah, and I think they all look the same. They all, again, it's kind of like being intimidated by so much of the same and oneness. So this is an opportunity where maybe you could categorize these things, break them up into multiple sections. So now they're scrolling the page, and you're giving a chance for the reader to breathe, because there's a lot going on right here.
Yeah, I love that idea. So instead of having this sort of smorgasbord of what the partner program includes, I'd break it up into 3 parts and say, okay, well, part 1 is support and help, right? Here's everything that we're going to do. Bullet point out, pretty simple. Hey, we have a exclusive account manager, a direct phone line to your account manager, and unlimited phone support, right? That's under support. In the middle, you have co-marketing or financed assistance or help, whatever you want to call it. And then under that are things like your MDF funds and SPIFs. And then this NFR access. This is another one where you don't want to use these types of acronyms that your partners probably won't understand, but you would say, you get a free account. We help you with sponsored content, and we help highlight your agency and whatever else. And then the third column, is maybe the ability to gain thought leadership and highlight. So highlighting you, and then all the different things you do to bring that partner into your brand, to show that your audience, that partner's links and their brand and everything else that you do there. So again, support, everything to do with money in the middle, and then everything to do with how you showcase their thought leadership on the right. Keep it super simple, those 3 sections there.
I think that's a great idea, Alex. I would even invite, you know, if that's a good approach, but also you can break it up vertically as well as horizontally. So I think what you just explained was a good approach for breaking up into categories, but also you can be creative and have them scroll vertically and break up those sections more vertically as well. A point I want to make about anything that we write about pulverizing people in the gut with clarity is when you write copy, and again, this can be for an email, for a pitch deck, for a partnership page, whatever it is, I want you to think about, like, write it so simple your kid or maybe your nephew or niece would understand it. Because that is the good litmus test on how clear we want to speak with people, because people are busy and they are looking for reasons subconsciously to leave your site. And so you want to make it so simple for them to understand it. And it's really good to think about it that way. Would my kid understand this?
I love it. And this is one from our participant here, Nick and Cognism. So this is their partner program. Let's look at this real quick. So Cognism Partner Program as the headline. Todd, what do you think about the use of that area, that copy, instead of something a little more like question-oriented or actionable? And I'm going to show you what I would consider a better example, but check this out. So we have Cognism Partner Program, Todd, and then we have data boxes. Are you wasting hours building client?
That's beautiful. I mean, that one, like, clearly, it's empathizing with the reader, and again, it's good. It's opening up a story loop, and that's what having a powerful question like that does. It opens up a story loop, lets the reader lean in with interest.
Yep. Okay, perfect. And then under here, take advantage of features and programs designed to help agencies deliver more predictable performance every month.
Yeah, I think you could even shorten that up, like take advantage, maybe, but just features and programs, or even, yeah, features and programs to help agencies. Um, you know, it's always good to be as short as possible, but not if it loses some clarity. So there's no formula for that. Sometimes I'm even guilty of making things too short, but basically it's about just say as little as you need to achieve the clarity that you want. Because remember, confusion is the villain, and for all of us, and whatever copy we write, confusion is a villain. Confusion that our readers don't understand what we're saying.
Okay. And I just noticed something here like that. Let me know what you think about this sentence here. It says, drive revenue and co-marketing with UK's most exciting outbound sales company. I think these are two separate things. So yes, you can drive revenue, but then what are you doing with co-marketing? You're not driving co-marketing. I think that deserves a little bit better of sentence structure, but Todd.
Well, and yeah, I think that's a good call out. And also, I would never use the term drive revenue, honestly. It would be like earn money or discover new ways to make money, maybe revenue streams. But I mean, I think that can be misinterpreted. And then co-marketing. Tell me what goes through your head when you.
Yeah, so co-marketing is, I think it falls under that internal nomenclature as well. Partners that have done a lot of it, they'll obviously know the term, but honestly, few partners have been involved in co-marketing with their partners, so they may not know that. I wouldn't say that in the headline. I put that under some of the, like I mentioned, those bullet points underneath what the program does. And then instead of co-marketing, instead of that, I'd use something more along the lines of get involved in our content and events and collaborate with us on campaigns.
So that's a good point. So I certainly have had clients that say, Todd, our audience knows what some of those terms mean. And I'm going to use co-marketing as an example. And I respond with, you can write that term on a Post-it note. You can give it to 10 people you think know what it means. And I guarantee you're going to get some varying results. And again, those are terms that eyeballs just gloss over instead of really saying what it is, even if it's longer than the word co-marketing.
Oh, I love that. That's really great. Yeah, and you can shorten that up and you can trim the fat type thing, but definitely write it out. Write it out as dumb as you can, and then trim it out and make sure that you're keeping it simple, but you're trimming it. And this is something, it's not a copywriting thing, but for all of you, because of this GDPR compliance bar for going ahead and opting into cookies, and if you have chat and the opt into cookies, sometimes they can overlap and you can't even get to it, and it becomes really odd and it ruins the page experience. So be careful there if you have chat overlapping with the cookies acceptance bar. And then again, like I mentioned on Smith.ai's, if you have a drift bot or if you have a bot or if you have a chat, make sure that the playbook is specific to partnerships and that is routing to you and not routing to sales. But talk to me real quickly. I want to stay in this subtext area, Todd. He has, okay, well, drive revenue. Talk about this is the value of what the Cognism partnership program brings, a little subtext there, and then more on it. So what would you say about having this additional line? Is it too much? Is it overkill? Would you replace that first line with the second line? Well, what do you see here?
I don't, well, generally what I do is I have a really strong opening, and then I have another line that's still big, but less than the subheading, which further explains the opening line. And then often, very often, but not always, I'll have a third line like this that further clarifies. Some things can stand on their own with just the first two lines. But in all cases, I don't make them the same size like that because, again, it kind of drowns out, and that's the last thing you want in your opening.
Got it. Okay, perfect. And then he goes into some quality.
So look at this one though here too, real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, Alex, but look how up at the top right, request a demo, become a Cognism partner. I mean, we're kind of confusing the reader. Which is it? There really should be one primary call to action.
Okay, got it. Perfect. Okay, little social proof. Any issues here, placement or otherwise?
Well, again, I think, well, maybe not so much with partner, which is how can you empathize with the reader by expressing some of the problems they're showing that you understand some of the problems they're experiencing. But maybe for partnership pages, as I'm getting more up to speed specifically with that, maybe it doesn't apply. I'm going to keep thinking about that as I learn more with you about partnership pages.
Okay, perfect. And what we offer, why partner with us? The only thing I have right now is probably, Nick, you don't need to go in and do the fine print inside of the sales lingo. You're still trying to give the value, and you don't want to back up and say, oh, but by the way, it's only in the first year of business, and go on to say fine print type stuff. I'd leave that out. But Todd, what do you think about this right here?
Yeah. I have a feeling that they have that there just as like a caveat or as a, but clearly they don't, that part's not meant to read. So, I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other. Maybe that could be asterisked and put elsewhere, like at the bottom, but, so I don't have a strong opinion about that.
Okay. Anything else on this without going into the fine print? I mean, we all know the principles of copywriting, so you can take those, but anything on just the structure and the headlines? And
no, I think that's pretty clear. What we offer, or maybe there could be something a little different what we offer, perhaps. I mean, that's good. It's pretty clear, but in a way, the other thing for everyone out there is you can always ask yourself, does it pass the grunt test or the so what test? So, hi, I'm Todd Clarke. Well, so what? It's easy for someone to say, so what? Is it easy for someone to say, so what for what we offer versus, oh, get this and that or something. So that's always ask yourself the grunt test for whatever headline you put up or subheadline.
Awesome. I love it. Okay. And then this sort of pagination sort of, you see these pop up as you scroll down. What do you say about the value of this? So how it works, become a formal Cognizant partner. Partner sends Cognizant qualified lead. Nick, one of the things that, is it's intrinsic in the partner program. Of course, your partner program is designed to bring new business to Cognizant, but saying that as step two, like, okay, well, you're asking me to join. I got to fill out some paperwork, and I got to sign up, and I got to learn, and I got to do all this stuff. Okay. And the next step for me, I got to send you a qualified lead. I think you're shooting yourself in the foot a little bit on that, but, Todd, anything on this setup, the structure, and guiding the partners through this
right
structural level first, and then copywriting?
Great call out. Without really looking exactly at what the copy's saying, I will say that it is very, very powerful to have a how it works section on the site, because again, the reader has, you're trying to proactively answer things that the reader is looking for. And they want to know, like, how do I get my arms around this? What's the process? What do I need to do? What will I get? How big is this process? So it's really good to have a section like this. I never write for clients, hardly ever write a web page that does not have something about process. So
I like the process. I think that, Nick, you did good. The process, great, have it here. But you think about it from the partner's perspective. I have to join your program. I've got to send you a qualified lead. Now your team is going to manage my client? No, I don't like that at all. I am not here to give you access to my clients. That's not what I'm here for, right? All partners, every partner out there, they're going to be at first very hesitant to allow your team to sell them on any strategy that they're the B2B marketing agency. They're there for the strategy. Your sales team is not there to manage the strategy and the sales process. I get what you're trying to say. It means, yes, we're going to support you in the sale, but change the way you word that, because this tells me I'm going to hand you a lead and then I'm going to be out of the picture. And you're going to maybe tell me what's going on with that lead. Maybe not. I don't know. So this is definitely, I believe this will cause you some bouncing. But if you have anything you want to ask about that, Nick. But what do you think about this, Todd, just from any other perspective? There's a lot here too, I think, how it works.
Yeah, I think there's too much there too. I use 3 and 4 sections or items, and that's it. If you have that link, why don't you look at the link we were looking at for the Horizon Digitals in your chat. If you click that real quick for this section, we can show a good example.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay, cool.
We've got a couple more that I just saw recards that we'll want to. Let's just do this real quick so we can give everybody a little bit of love, but let's do recarts real quick. If you can check this out. I mean, this is Nick's new partner page. I like the design. I think Recart does a good job of just making clear design. But let's talk about this one real quick before we go back to Horizon. Become a Recart agency partner. Enjoy exclusive perks, priority support, and rev share to help grow your agency and make your clients happier. I like that. I think that's great. What do you say about this? And maybe this capital A too. I think this is something that I'm always curious about, what to capitalize in the headline versus
right.
What not. So let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah. This is good. This is good. Again, my eye first goes, oh, try for free and become a partner. I'd really like to see that become the same call to action throughout the whole page. And I always have the buttons on the right and all the buttons on the page, the same color, same text. Sometimes a background may dictate that the color might not work, but basically, yes, I like the way you have a strong call to action on the right menu, but I would make them all the same throughout the page. Become a partner, to your question, Alex, about the text. It's very common in journalism and writing to write sentences like that, or to have the A not be a capital. It's very common. What I prefer though is not even the opening headline I'm usually have capitalized or something like that. But for most headlines, I like to just capitalize the first word because it's more conversational. I'm actually talking to the reader. And so instead of it standing out as a headline, I'm talking to the reader. So that's what I want you to think about when you guys choose how to capitalize headings and subheadings.
I have a question, just super quick, because he's mentioned it twice. Are we supposed to do a completely different navigation? Because I understand this is the navigation for the whole site and the demo is for the sales team, but this page is for partners. So are we supposed to completely redo our nav just for the partner page?
No.
Oh, I see.
No, Stacy, I'll jump in real quick. Let's say you have a custom site. I hope you do. I don't think you're on WordPress or Webflow or anything like that. Your dev team, it's a tiny bit of code to say, if on this page, use this nav bar. And they create a nav bar that may look exactly the same, but this button matches that button. And I'd go a step further. And I'd ask your design team, your product team, to remove all header links and just use the CTA button on the partner page. And then also, and this is for you, Nick, at Recart, this takes me off the partner page. If I saw this as your partner and I want it, I'm going to bounce out of your funnel and I may not come back, right? So this takes me off the page. That's bad for your conversions. So back to this, I'll mention.
Alex, real quick, can I jump in there? Yeah. I think maybe that brings up the point of like, are we talking about a landing page and what does, I think the most common definition of a landing page is a page you create for a specific promotion. And it doesn't have really any navigation associated with it.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if in these partner pages, that's how they operate, or if they're meant to be like part of the site. Because the question's a good question. And I agree with what you said. But I also could back off a little bit about what I was saying, where if you feel that that's global to the site, then yeah, I can see that being the case. So
yeah, and marketing will want the people on this page to go and convert through their blog posts or through their demo links, because that's their KPI. They want more people through that. So when you try to challenge that and say, no, get rid of those links, get rid of that download because it's just going to bounce people out of my funnel, you're going to get some pushback. But the main thing here is, why are we putting people on this page? Are we putting them here to get more demo requests, or are we putting them here to get more partners? The answer is partners. If that's the answer, get rid of all that extra stuff. Make this chatbot, this is intercom, make this speak to the partners. Hey, potential partner, whatever, your CTA is there. And then one more thing while we're at it, it's copywriting, but there is an SEO component. I do want to mention that. So there's some value here in having agency partner program as an H1 tag. And your marketing team may have thought about that before creating this page. So Stacy, if you haven't chose the URL yet, I'd say first and foremost, say agency-partner program, because you'll have smilesoftware.com/agency partner program. because in the future, you may have a landing page that has just /partners, and then that is a tree that goes to implementation, tech partners, and agency partners. So start off with /agency partners, or agency partner program, not agency partners. So you get that keyword, and then you want to use it once more in the H1 title. But I would say this is a waste of an H1 title, where you can use this real estate like your copy in Horizon Media to hit on a pain point, just like DataBox did here, and you also use the keyword. So you can post a question and then also use the keyword and also hit on the pain point, which will take a little bit of creativity, but you can do all three at once without it being too busy or too long. But what do you have to say about anything that your clients tell you when they say, oh, but that's not SEO'd, Todd, and I need to use that keyword because what you mentioned isn't SEO'd? What do you tell them?
Well, I'm building a business, and for my clients, where SEO is not a primary concern. So I feel that there's, but luckily in today with SEO, they rank us high when we speak in plain English and when we're not keyword stuffing. So it's really, it's great that that stuff's all aligned up, but that's about all I can really intelligently speak about SEO, because there's so many aspects to digital marketing that I'm focused on the message.
Yep.
And the funnel, and not so much about being found organically, which is very important.
Well, this is the answer right here. I mean, this Todd, tell me what you think about this sentence right here, but this is the keyword. They capitalized it, agency partner program. So it's obviously still speaking towards agency partner is another keyword. So they're stacking up all these different variations of the keyword. So they're thinking about SEO is what I hear. But this sentence to me says they are also getting better at copywriting. Recart's agency partner program will generate extra revenue for you and your clients, period. What do you think about that sentence?
I think it's fine. In my mind, I probably would, well, yeah, I think it is for SEO. I could see like just generate extra revenue for you and your clients. Like a lot of copywriting is just getting an idea in their head. And so I could see that being shortened, but I think they're doing it exactly for what you're saying. But you don't want to do that too much, because then the Googles and the Bings and the DuckDuckGos will hit you if you stuff too many of those same terms, or even very close variations.
I think you hit on a major point. I think they're overdoing it with reiterating on what it is. I think this could be trimmed and replaced this. Tell me what you think about that, Todd.
Replacing, well, I mean, it's open. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it works as is, and I think what you're saying could work too, but I'm not quite. You're saying move that could be moved up?
Yeah, literally. So you don't have this extra section where you're reiterating. Take all of this out and trim it and replace this headline and subtext with the trimmed version of this, right? Maybe you stop right here and that.
Well, I suppose, but I think the bigger issue is like there's sections of the story missing for this page that could be useful. And so I think about it more that way than shortening this page.
Okay. And you mentioned before making sure that they know the business is about partnerships, or at least the page is telling the story about what is the partnership, not what is the product. This is all, hey, we are awesome. What do you have to say about this being here? Should it be removed altogether, or should it just be moved down or trimmed? What do you say about this section?
Oh, I would need to sit and analyze it more, but I would say that, in order to tell a story, and yes, I know we're not selling something like in other cases, but we are selling a concept. We are trying to get someone to take an action. So, an opening, a section that shows empathy, a section that inverts that and shows how you solve those problems. Again, some of that might not appeal or apply to partnership programs. A section that has testimonials and logos to reduce risk in the reader's mind. A section that shows process that we talked about, right? So those are the way I think about what sections do we want in the page to tell the story.